nerds. Welcome to GeekBeast, part of the Geekish Network. This is your daily rundown of geek news with geeks like you. I am your host, Summer Punch, and this is Chuck. Wait, do I usually say your name?
Yeah, you say my name.
I always do. Okay, sorry, I don't know.
You say the whole thing.
Spaced out the This is Chuck.
What's up, everyone? Woohoo! It's Friday.
And
I'm back in LA.
Yo, what's cracking, baby? Happy Friday. It's happy hour. I hope if you in here with us tonight, you better have a drink in your hand. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yo, what is up, Summer? What's going down, Chuck? Yo,
I like it. I like bringing the energy, guys. Bringing the energy. Yeah. I have to admit, I'm a little bit lower energy today. I might be feeling a little under the weather because I went to the Drake and Kanye show last night.
Tell us
and
about
I might
that.
have had a lot of
so jealous.
What'd you think?
It was so good. It was so good. But like Drake only played like a few songs after Kanye had pulled like a full set, all the oldies too, all the good ones, some great new ones. It was good. It was good shit. But I wish that Drake played more.
I mean, Drake probably don't know how
only the oldies, huh?
What I did see, it seemed like neither one of them had good control of rapping their own music. They heard they doing karaoke most of the night. But it seemed like a decent. I saw the very tail end of it. I got back to the hotel around 2:00, 3:00 my time, and I saw the very tail end of it. It was when Drake and Kanye hugged when I walked in and I turned on my Amazon.
That was nice. Drake said some nice things. Kanye said nothing nice, but Drake said some nice things about Kanye.
Nothing nice word. He was jerked the whole way through. That's terrible.
He was surprised. Surprised. I have a question now. I need your guys' opinion on this. What did you think of Kanye's boots?
I was looking at those boots.
I don't think I saw the boots.
The boots, how could you not see them? It was like he was only wearing boots. The boots, like, you're so big.
I was like, are those gutter boots where you go fly fishing in them?
We're huge. Look at a side view of the boots is insane. The front view looks normal. Side view, like they're like.
But see, I did buy Kanye's Ugg boot. I did buy his version of Uggs, and they're built the same way, and they're run small. But I was looking at those. It's like, are those Yeezys or are they Balenciagas? And I was like, those look like Balenciagas. And I said, but hold on, did he get those at Dick's Sporting Good? They're the type of boots when you're a farmer and you had the mill the farm. They're
like fucking cattle ranching. Cattle ranching.
Yeah, like he's.
Oh
he's
man, I'm looking at the pictures now.
They're silly. They're silly.
That is funny. Why would he do that to himself?
Did you see it?
He looked like he better go fly fishing.
Did you see his jacket? You see his jacket?
I couldn't see his jacket from the seats.
He had a denim boots on. He had a denim jacket on, and it was an armor jacket for like dirt bike riding.
Okay.
So it had the shoulder pads in. That's why Kanye looked kind of swole. With his shoulder pads in it.
Okay.
It's a motorcycle jacket.
Kanye.
I was like, Kanye, you got a motorcycle jacket on. You're in some weird, some jegging type pants, and you got those boots. You look like a Pokemon character.
Whose man's is this? Whose man's is this? Who let this man at the house like this?
And why did Drake have on one glove? Why did Drake have on one glove like Michael Jackson?
He's trying to get his MJ.
It was a Nike glove. So it looked kind of cheap. Like, come on, Drake. You look like I did in the third grade when I wanted to be Michael Jackson. I put one in my glove.
I never actually. It's funny because I'm just looking up his boots right now, and like I hadn't seen actual pictures of them. Literally, the only thing I could see from like where I was sitting, like it is a huge stadium, right? This thing is, and he was like, I don't know, a mile away from me, but I could see him, and he just looked like he was wearing a jumper. And then literally the boots were just the biggest thing. I don't know, man.
Where did he perform at?
LA boots. LA Memorial Coliseum, I think.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Okay. This is what Drew said. Someone tweeted it was like if Prince and MJ did a free Tookie Williams concert.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Oh hey Truman.
That may be true. That may be true. It was a weird show. The end that I saw, and I was like, why is Kanye moving like this? He doesn't move like this. Usually he's usually on rhythm. I was like, this is really weird. And Drake seemed like he was just low energy all day.
Yeah, I know. I saw. Yeah, I know that too.
He seemed like he had sex right before the show and got to the show.
Never do that. Never do that.
And never took a
Yeah,
rest.
now when you're trying to get stuff done.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. Chill out, fam. What you doing?
He was like, yeah. And he was missing all his lyrical cues. Like, come on, Drake. You have to do better than this.
Was the concert was it good?
It was good, though.
I mean, it's Drake and Kanye. I don't know how you can be disappointed with that, you know?
The stage was okay. You know,
the stage, I mean,
choir.
It was kind of the stage. I feel like I feel torn on the stage because it was cool. It was like had this huge like mound thing, and then the smoke effects were really cool, and then the way the light would hit it was pretty cool. But also like there was just nothing else about it. It was just the same. I don't know why. For some reason, I feel like I have this expectation that the stage should change or move. When I say that out loud, it sounds kind of crazy. But like it was just very flat, and there was nothing else but them on there, you know. So I don't know.
That's Kanye's aesthetic because of James Terrell. So James Terrell is an artist that uses light, and so it's about the lighting. That's where he's at right now.
The lighting was cool.
But he and James Terrell, and James Terrell does amazing. James Terrell had something at LACMA. It was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Like, wow, this is how you use light.
Yeah. Oh, is it still there? I'm about to go actually next weekend.
Oh no, well they had the black exhibit there, and LACMA's never had a black exhibit. So
I just saw Basquiat's art at the Broad like last weekend before.
Basquiat. Yeah.
Am I saying it wrong? Basquiat? Is it Basquiat? Basquiat or Basquiat? Okay.
Basquiat. That's how black folks call his name. I'm gonna call it Basquiat. I'm gonna call him Basquiat. If mama name is Basquiat, I'm gonna name him Basquiat.
Okay.
Yo, hey, quick little change up. I know, like briefly, on GeekBeast yesterday, me and Carl were talking. We actually live stream the Game Awards, and I know the both of you, that is absolutely your neck of the woods. That's what y'all do. Yeah. Y'all do games. So, based off of that, did you even see it or any of the results? And you know,
I was getting live tweets. I was getting live tweets, and then I was reading the tweets about who won, but I didn't actually see who won best game of the year.
Oh, It Takes Two. Yeah, man, the pandemic game. That's what I call it because you know it was perfect for pandemic because you can count. It won Game of the Year. Wow. Yeah, man.
Yeah, this is a weak year for
it. Won two. It won 2 awards. It won Game of the Year, and it also got a multiplayer game as well. So
hold on.
Yeah.
I gotta search this.
What's the games in that category? Let me see the games in that category.
God, in that category, I think it was like Metroid Prime was in there.
Yeah, I remember seeing
Psychonauts, I think, was in there. Golly, I forgot all the other ones. Shoot. It was a few. It's like 5, I think.
You know, I've never played this game, so I can't, you know, I can't.
Oh, it's good. It's really good. Yeah, it's really good.
Because I remember seeing the lineup, like the lineup for the nominees, and it was like there's just a weak lineup. Like it didn't seem like
there's a better game in that category right now. There's 2 games. First of all, Deathloop was probably Game of the Year.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet. I want to play this whole game.
So Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is amazing, and Resident Evil Village.
Yeah.
It Takes Two. I don't see who wins the game.
I can't speak on it. I can't speak on Deathloop because I didn't play it, but I do know that It Takes Two was crazy dope.
It's dope too.
It's okay.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It's dope because the studio that does it, Hazelight Studios, all they make is multiplayer games, and you have to work together.
Yeah, they did the Prison Break one too. I forgot the name of it. I forgot the prison one, but it was good too. I mean, it's almost the same kind of build. You know, one person does one thing, which unlocks something else for somebody else, and then you have to do some collaboration stuff. Yeah. But
no, it looks like a platformer.
I think that given the fact that so many people were stuck at home, it was a perfect time for It Takes Two to come out because of the time. You know, people were home. It was
a perfect time for any game to come out.
Game.
Let
me be honest. This is what I think of the VGAs. It's a payola award show.
Well, every award show is that. There's no exemption to any award show. It's all marketing, hustling, and who pays to win. Yeah, absolutely. Grammys, Oscars.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like I've had to submit
all of his politics
nominees. I don't know. I actually kind of want to push back on that because like I've had to submit nominations for the Game Awards, you know, working in game marketing. And Yeah, there's no like string pulling. As far as I know, you know, like maybe there's just, and I don't know about it, but like I'm not sure who is actually doing the voting. Honestly, I'm saying this out loud, and it just sounds so fucking naive. You're probably right.
The Game Awards announced their voting, but whoever pays for the most ad time, and
there was a ton of ads. I mean, a ton of it.
I don't know.
There was something else that was really interesting about the Game Awards that I hadn't seen. I was just gonna say there was something really interesting about this award show that I hadn't seen before. When you're talking about it's Oscars, Emmys, Grammys, and everything else, it's always on broadcast television. Always. The Game Awards was just on platforms. It was on Twitch, it was on Twitter, it was on YouTube. It had I don't know how many multi-streams that was on YouTube. It was not on broadcast television, and it trended everywhere. Everywhere. So it was just cool to not only have a platform such as video games, which is growing by leaps and bounds. It is like the dominant entertainment source as far as like percentages of growth are concerned. It's the highest. It's the one that makes the most amount of money, and they didn't go the traditional route. I think that says a lot about the industry as a whole, and they're forward thinking because broadcast is, I mean, it's phasing out slowly but surely. It will eventually phase out, and they're forward thinking enough to find other avenues to get the message out.
Well, the broadcast does the.
I think they couldn't afford it. That's my thing. Sorry. I don't feel like
that may be too. That may be too.
Probably just couldn't afford to pay for, or didn't want to cut into like the margins, because people who the fuck watches TV? Who watches TV left? Like I literally have no idea who owns. Do you guys have cable? I've never owned cable.
Yeah, YouTube TV.
Can you own cable? I don't even know. Yeah, and like I don't think that's how gamers expect to see. And plus, visually, it's not that interesting. Like it's not that interesting of a show. Visually, it's not like the Oscars where you're like seeing like.
I don't know, man. It was different. They had some beautiful setups. The music was dope.
No, the stage is cool. The stage is cool, but like the people, it's just industry people. You know, like it's not like, oh, what is Summer wearing at the Game Awards? Like,
no, it's not that. No, you're right about that. But the thing is, it's like when you see like the runway show and stuff like that now, like more people go to Twitter than would go to ABC to find out who's wearing what in this day and age especially for younger demographics.
So the award show used to be broadcast. It was on Spike. Who the hell watches Spike TV?
Nobody watches Spike, but everybody.
Is that even still on
anybody
TV? Can
get Twitter and YouTube. That's what I'm saying. That's why I think it's smart.
Yeah,
nobody's on Spike. Spike Network isn't even around anymore. I don't think.
It's around.
I don't even think it's around anymore.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, or it got bought out and renamed.
Yeah, but Jeff Keighley. You know, as much as I like Jeff as a human being, this is definitely he was smart because he did it last year. He did it on Twitch, and they had live polls like who you think is going to win, and the audience poll in, and they give a poll award.
Jeff Keighley fucking rocks the show every single day. Did you know that the show is basically like he does everything in the show? Everything on the show. Yeah, like when we had to submit like nominations and stuff, like we're emailing Jeff Keighley himself, and like he runs everything, like gets all the sponsors, like coordinates with all the game companies. It's like his whole operation.
He lives off this.
It's impressive. Show. It's impressive. Like
I'm impressed.
There wasn't a show like that before him. Like there might have been, but it wasn't like big. But now the Game Awards is like such a big thing that like game announcements are almost always at the show. Yeah.
And there was a lot of them. I mean, it was this is how big it was. They released the Halo trailer there. Yeah. They released unseen shots and clips for the new Matrix movie, then dropped the Matrix game on top of it. Yeah. Like it was all kinds of new content. Like it's not unlike the Super Bowl or the NBA Finals. Well, not the Super Bowl, excuse me. Not like the NBA Finals where you see the same commercial over and over and over again. You see Jake from State Farm 50 million times. I'm so tired of seeing his ass. This award show, I don't remember seeing like one ad rerun. It was all fresh and it was all stuff that I was interested in. I thought it was really well done. I was like, they know who they're marketing towards and they are giving them that. It was like, we're taking a commercial break and we're going to show you a new trailer for a new game that you haven't seen. I'm like, wow, that's how you keep me on the platform. You know, now nobody wanted to leave. Like me and Carl were doing it. Nobody even wanted to leave to get snacks or anything because we were afraid we were going to miss whatever the new trailer was going to be. That's good content creation. That's dope.
That's how he sells the show, though. He talks about. He says, "This is the time that we're celebrating games. We're gonna talk about all games. I want my game content to run on my show. You couldn't have this on Spike TV because you could not tell us a network television station or cable television. You're not gonna have Doritos running an ad. You're gonna run a game trailer." They'd be like, nah, we're not. We're gonna run this Doritos ad. We're gonna run this Hill ad. We're gonna do some Jack.
I'm so tired of State Farm. Oh my God, I'm so tired of State Farm.
We're gonna run this Toyota ad. We're gonna run this Subaru ad. It was a thing. It was a thing.
Well, speaking of things that are not on TV anymore. Cowboy Bebop has been canceled. Not that it ever was on TV because it's Netflix, but But guys, did you even watch it?
We actually covered in binge worthy.
Nonsense. I see that, and I'm like, live adaptations of great anime are just, it's not going to work out. Like, why have we not learned that lesson from Avatar, from pretty much any other time this has ever been attempted? Although I was like, Death Note. What do you guys think of the Death Note movie? I remember that one was okay.
Right? I heard it bombed. I heard it was bad. I didn't see it, but I haven't
seen it. I won't watch it. I won't watch it. Unless, okay, I'll take this back.
It's got what's the guy's face from like Spider-Man who has the weird Willem Dafoe.
Yeah,
William Dafoe.
I think he's the Death Note guy. Anyways, back to Cowboy Bebop.
Definitely grown into his face. Okay, go ahead.
I like that guy though.
I watched the Death Note. You're talking about the one with Lakeith Stanfield,
awesome.
Right? The Lakeith Stanfield Death Note was whack.
Wait, what? Did you just say Lakeith Stanfield?
Lakeith Stanfield was in Death Note.
Yeah, he's in Death Note. Yep.
Was he?
Really?
Yep. He's L. He's L in Death Note. He's L in Death Note, and it's whack.
Wait, he is the Death Note guy?
He's L. He's the detective trying to hunt down the guy that Kiwi. And it's whack.
Well, it's been a long time since that movie's old too. But back to Cowboy Bebop. So that was pretty fast. Netflix has canceled its ambitious, widely hyped, and ultimately widely disappointing, no surprise there, anime adaptation of Cowboy Bebop, the original. And the move comes less than 3 weeks after the show's release on November 19th. God damn, that was fucking fast.
It's interesting too, because it was one of the most watched shows. It was #1 for like 2 weeks.
But it was #1 because I think people were hate watching it.
They hate watching it, yeah.
Yeah,
really? I don't do. Okay. I don't think the #1 top 10 movies are like being watched right now. I think that's complete bullshit because like I was watching on, I don't know, I just had my own Netflix open and the top 10 movies in the US were like completely different than when I signed in to my boyfriend's account and it was like top.
Oh yeah.
So I think they're just saying that it's not actually the top. I think they're just bullshitting you and saying it to promote it. So they were probably promoting it on just doing their own Netflix thing and trying to push it, but that doesn't mean that it was the most watched show. Is my point.
I think you can get numbers and it still be bad because you're going off of like the thing that pushes Cowboy Bebop was nostalgia. And especially if you're a fan of the original series, you want to see those nostalgic moments. And it does deliver with the look, but it's the substance, it's the story that's just didn't work. I mean, listen, I like John Cho.
We covered it.
I do like him.
Binge-worthy.
But John Cho was how old? John Cho's 50 years old. He's 49 years old. Playing a character that's supposed to be like in his mid-20s. It's like,
is he that old?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, John Cho's old.
Really?
Yeah, he's like 40. Yeah. He's like 50 years old. Yeah.
He's like 49, I think, but he's pushing 50. Yeah. And you see him and it's like, I don't know if that's my Spike.
I'm gonna do a shameless plug. For those that want to know what we really think about it, Binge-worthy actually reviewed Cowboy Bebop, the animated series first. Then we came back the following week and did Cowboy Bebop, the live action series, the new Netflix live action. And the live action got kind of spicy because Courtney couldn't be there because she was working on a set of a show or a movie. She was listening to it. She ran off set, hid, and called us up and said, Centel, Chuck, Y'all need to stop lying. This shit effing sucked. Y'all living in nostalgia. She said, I was shaking on set. I am producing a TV show right now. And I'm shaking, but I don't want you lying to these people. I don't want you lying to these people. And she said, y'all need to tell the truth. And I was
tell
like,
the truth about it. She didn't agree with your
oh man, no,
we were trying, like we were living in nostalgia. We were. I mean, I know. Let me speak for myself too. Yeah. I was living in nostalgia, and I couldn't.
Sorry.
I couldn't dare give it like an unbearable rating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't want to give it a terrible rating neither.
Yeah,
the look of Cowboy Bebop was on par. It's kind of like Speed Racer. Like Speed Racer.
Wait, I'm confused. I need a clarification. Are you guys saying that the original was great, or that you were just looking at it through rose-colored glasses and it's not actually that good?
Listen, there's a story to that too.
Yeah, we talked about that too online.
The original Cowboy Bebop. If we're talking about the time and space that it came out, it's a masterpiece. I think it's a masterpiece, but it doesn't age well.
It didn't age well.
It didn't age well. So when you look at it again, it's like, ooh, this may not be what I thought it was. It's still good, but it's not like the end all. Like, oh my God, this is it. This is the number one. It ain't that anymore.
It's slow. It was slow.
Randy gave it a cringe word. You guys are talking about the original, right?
No, we're talking about the remake. The remake got a cringe word.
Okay.
So the live action,
the one that got
canceled.
Does the remake? Or does the original? You're saying it doesn't age well. Okay.
It doesn't age well.
The original doesn't really age that well
because it's slow. It's very slow, and it did a lot of things first, but now a lot of shows and movies copy things that Cowboy Bebop and updated them. Our storytelling is different these days. Our storytelling is fast and snappy.
I'm a little scared to admit this, but I agree that it didn't age well because I attempted to watch Cowboy Bebop like 3 different times. And I never got past even the second episode.
Yeah,
I just didn't like it. It felt super toxic, and it was like slow, but also like really violent. And you guys know I don't really like too violent shows.
I haven't
talked about it in a while with you guys.
But that's what made it hot in the 90s.
Everybody's like, oh, but I feel everybody, there's so much shame for having not watched Cowboy Bebop. And then when people tell me that, or when I tell people that I didn't really like it, I'm like, I'm fucking scared of their opinions. I get so much hate because of it. But like,
because it was legendary in its time. It was legendary in its time.
It's like
you guys
watching
saying that because now I don't feel crazy.
It's like watching an old gangster movie from the 60s. There's a lot of exposition. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do Bugsy. We're gonna go rob the bank. We're gonna take the money. We're gonna hide it in a safe. We're gonna put it in a hideout, and I'm gonna go buy my wife a house. Yeah, my wife Darla always needed a house. Nobody talks like that,
right? Yeah, it's like corny.
No,
I thought it was.
It's that.
It is.
Yeah, not everything ages well, man. Not everything does.
Age well, but the structure of that story of the first of the original is amazing.
So, what was it about it that was so legendary at the time?
You go ahead. You go ahead. Okay, well, there's a few things. For one, at the time that it came out like around 98, right? And at that time, Toonami is a big reason why a lot of people of color in the United States, Toonami was a big reason why a lot of folks jumped on the anime. All right. So everybody's on that. And then the talking like, what's next? And there was this little underground thing that you could only get at Blockbuster. You know, you can't find it anywhere else called Cowboy Bebop. And it was like an underground thing that you had to be like in the know. And what made it cool was that they were playing jazz in it. And it was this cool bounty hunter that was doing this thing. And they had like the way the animation was done. And you're talking about a group of people. Yeah, you're talking about a group of people that is fresh off of DBZ, maybe watched Toonami Gundam. Like it's one of those things that breaks from the norm of something that you're new to. So a lot of folks that I grew up with, nobody ever seen anything like Cowboy Bebop, and the music was the big one because the story was kind of built around. It's a character within itself. And even though it's a little slow, you still are like, oh my God, this is dope. Spike is doing this cool thing. Who's this crazy girl that's coming around? Why are they bringing this dog? You know, it's like, you know, we got this weird eclectic girl that's like this weird hacker. They were talking about internet stuff before the internet jumped off.
There was no internet.
It was a space adventure that had jazz. and people were called cowboys. It was just
bounty hunters are cowboys.
Nobody ever seen nothing like that before.
And Bebop was the name of the ship, and everything was set to jazz. Like Watanabe, the actual director, he said everything. All his anime are set to music. And he's like, jazz is a character, and it's not just normal jazz. It's bebop. Bebop is a character. And so everything moves to the rhythm. And bebop is where you get a bunch of jazz musicians together and they improvise and they make a tune. And that's what that team felt like. Faye would come in.
It was improv, yes.
She'd come in like, I'm out. F you guys. I'm out because I'm dealing with who I am. I'm going to go gamble away all my money. And the money I stole from you guys. I'm out. And the dog, you're like, why is Ian always here? Why is Ian always here? And you realize he's a genius dog. He's been experimenting on. Then you meet Ed, and you don't know Ed is a girl until Faye yells out that he's a girl, that she's a girl. But Ed is autistic.
Yeah, but we didn't know she was autistic at the time. We just thought she was just different.
Weird, just different.
Yeah.
And she's in the computer. She's on the spectrum, and she can read, and that's why she enjoys playing chess. Like, she's smart. And it's like they talk about shrooms, and they bring the villain in the very beginning. You know who the bad guy is to Spike. Just the bad guy to Spike. Disappears. You never see him again. And every
But he was the through line, like Jazz.
Yeah. He's like,
and then it just goes all over the place.
Then he doesn't come back in. The girl comes back in that him and Spike both liked. And when you meet her, you don't know who she is. All she knows is she dated both of these men, and they're willing to kill for her. And then when you meet her when she meets Faye, and by the time you think Faye's a badass, you're like, oh, Faye's a badass. Then she drives down the street, Faye watches, she turns around and is like, hop in. And you're like, what? And she knows she's a bad. She's smoking a cigarette, and she's talking to Faye. And she says, tell Spike I'm going to be at that space because I know who you are. Tell Spike I'm going to
be at the spot. Yeah.
I'm going to be at the spot. I know who you
Everybody
are.
Was like, oh!
Everybody's like, what? And you're like, who's this woman? Then you find out Spike was called Fearless in the military, and the guy that he's fighting against is named Vicious. And they ruin all of that story. They take the live action, they take that story, they chew it up. The first episode is like, okay, they got me. Oh yeah, it's kind of like, the girl she was fake pregnant. She's the daughter of a governor who's really wealthy. She's running off with this dude who's a drug addict who's out here trying to sell these drugs that they stole so they can go live on Mars on a farm by themselves. And you're like, okay, they nailed that story. What's episode 2? Oh.
Yeah, it's just
they gave us the Star Wars story. They gave us they made it about romance. They weakened the Julia, the girl that was the love interest of both Spike and Vicious. They ruined her. They ruined all.
They showed too much Vicious. It was like it was the Vicious Julia show, and I'm like, we're supposed to get like a little nip of Vicious in the beginning, and then close it out at the end, and then like Bebop, you've got your through line. It's this, and it's supposed to end with this, and then it's just all over the place. And you're on just these adventures, on these different bounties,
bounties. They tried all about the different bounties every episode.
Yeah, they just did something totally different.
They gave us no bounties, but they gave
us.
Let
me say one thing too. What's up? I think John Cho is right for the character, but he was right 15 years ago. I think he could have pulled it off at like 35. He could pull it off, but it's at this age, it's just that's tough. It's kind of like watching. It's kind of like watching Keanu Reeves now do these John Wicks and how I'm feeling about him in The Matrix. I'm like, Keanu Reeves is like 55, 56 years old. I'm like, I love him, man. Keanu could do no wrong. He's a national treasure. But age comes for us all. Nobody's exempt. And it's just
Can we talk about The Matrix for a second? Is everybody excited?
I am not excited.
I feel you're not excited. Why? Tell me why.
Because I just saw the last trailer and they kept saying he loves Trinity. I said they made the Matrix a fucking love story. I'm gonna be mad. I already don't want to see it now. It's a love story about Trinity because I think they're gonna change the story. It's gonna be Trinity's story and her rebirth, and she's gonna save Keanu because she's in love with him and he's in love with her.
That sounds fucking awesome. Let's make it a Trinity story too. What the fuck?
No, I don't have a problem with it being a Trinity story. I have a problem with it being a love story because The Matrix was never a love story. It was a realization story. Realizing
Do you think he'll say? I know. What is it?
Oh no, he's gonna say it.
Not I love Kung Fu.
He's gonna say
Karma Sutra. I know Karma Sutra.
I know Karma Sutra.
You know what?
I just made up. I'm gonna fucking copyright that shit.
He was like, I know Trinity. That's what he's gonna do. I love Trinity.
The Wachowskis' whole thing they live their art, right? And what I mean by like they were the Wachowski brothers and they had a transition, right? And now the Wachowski siblings became the Wachowski sisters
became
the
Wachowski brothers became the Wachowski sisters.
Right.
None of the siblings.
What were the Wachowski?
Right.
Which
were
they transitioned into women.
Yeah.
So they've had like this tone with a lot of their projects that deal with change and how to deal with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that this project is going to be like, art, life, art, right? I think it's going to be a representation of what they're personally kind of going through. And I think this final Matrix is going to be a transition. It's going to be another one. It's going to be a transition. You got all of the old people, all of the old folks, all the old heads, and they're going to transition into a newer, younger, more vibrant kind of version. And this is, to me, it's going to be the passing of the baton.
So I think
they're getting ready to gear up for franchising. Like it's going to be some more.
Yeah,
I don't think this is going to be the end.
Does that explain the new Morpheus too? Because I know that the guy.
Yes.
It does. It's actually.
Yes.
Okay.
So Trinity's going to change too. She's going to become the Asian girl.
Oh. Yeah. Everybody's going to change and look different because Morpheus,
Keanu.
It's him, but it's not him, right? He's transitioned into something else.
Yeah.
And I think. But here's something I will say is going to be dope. I think the action is going to be off the chain. I think we're going to see something visually we've never seen before.
I hope so.
But I think the storytelling is probably going to be terrible. Matrix 2 and 3, it was terrible. I think this one, the storytelling is going to be terrible as well. But I think visually, I think it's going to be something that's going to be mind blowing. I think they got something for us visually.
Well, it's not them anymore. It's only one. Lana is the only one.
Yeah, it's just Lana.
So Lana's the only one. So I forgot the brothers. It was Larry and something. They were Wachowski brothers.
Larry and Andy were the original
I think
brothers. I think the term
Larry
is
was the first one.
Name. I think that's the term.
Yeah, Larry was the first one.
I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong.
Larry
I have a hot take for the Matrix, and I feel like I'm probably the only person in the world that has this opinion because I've never heard.
Okay.
I don't know. When I saw that they were remaking the Matrix, I was just like, is that right? Like, I felt so uncomfortable seeing that because, like, is it just me or like I see the Matrix posters and I just like think school shootings, and I'm like, do we really want to like?
That was a thing when the first one came out.
Yeah.
In '99, was that Sandy Hook? Not Sandy Hook, but
Columbine.
Columbine.
That was the first one, and they were dressed up
right?
like Neo, basically.
Well, it's the first one that got as much news coverage that got because of the Matrix. Because
I think it was Columbine.
Well, I mean, it got a lot of news coverage because it was freaking crazy.
Well,
anyways, they were wearing long black jackets.
Yeah,
they're dressed up like in the Matrix, and so like, and now that like school shootings are happening, like
Columbine happened in '99.
Yeah, and
April 20th, 99.
I don't know. I feel like it was, but I guess they already did remakes, so they're already past like the "is this cool to do" thing. They've already done like 2 and 3, right? It makes you. I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of like.
Said it best, Centel said it best. He's like, we watched them shoot up a host classroom of kindergarten kids in Sandy Hook, and America was like, "Oh, it's part of the course."
Yeah,
it's part of the course.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna move the needle.
You have to understand, right now, this last one that happened last week is the first time in American history that parents were charged.
I know, that's actually huge.
That is
huge.
That is huge.
Yeah, and they were granted bail after they ran. But that's a whole different thing. I'm not gonna get onto that.
Everybody's liable.
Really?
School's liable.
They were actually granted bail. They were granted bond. Excuse me, not bond. They were given bond. And they weren't granted bail. But for the simple fact that they were a flight risk, they literally tried to leave the country.
Yeah.
And then the judge was like, well, I'm still going to grant them bond. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, they're completely the country.
That privilege is off the chain.
That's not the only thing though, right? So everybody's at risk. Have y'all heard about how this thing unfolded? So the kid sat there. He was online looking for ammunition, right? Mm-hmm. He told the teacher he had a gun. He had bullets with him. He had some. He was looking for more.
Oh, the teachers knew he had bullets?
Everybody knew. And he said this. And he said this. And he had drawings in his notebook of him drawing. I'm going to kill everyone. I can't wait to kill him. I'm like the Joker. Blah, blah, blah. They're looking at all the pictures, right? They take him to counseling. He tells the school counselor, who's been a counselor for 20 years. She said, how do you feel? He says, I feel like killing people right now. That's when they called his parents in. They called his parents in. They had his bag with him and everything.
Wow.
The parents talked to the counselor. They sent him back to the classroom that day. Then he shot up people. He even said he wanted to kill people. He said it. They didn't even think to go through everybody. Everybody is at fault here. Oh, cause he's a good little white boy. He knows he's from a wealthy family. Blah 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 blah.
He does.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, he does.
That's
His
what they
parents look
said.
like
That's what they said. They said
trashiest white trash I've ever seen. You see
You
them
know,
in the
and
shot?
you hear why they
look
got
fucking-
stopped? They got stopped. They couldn't get into Canada because they didn't have their vax card.
Yep.
I know. I heard that.
Yep.
I was like, yo, this isn't the absolute it's blowing up completely 110%. Wow.
What we see, what me, you, and Centel and people like us see, may not be what those people that look like them see. They see a harmless. They see a harmless human being.
Really, they look like fucking. I don't. Is that mean to say they look like white trash?
I mean,
like
Orlando Jones said it best. He said it best in American Gods. When a black man does something right, he's still a monster, and we're just waiting for him to do something wrong. When a white man does something wrong, he's really a good person that had something bad happen to him.
Oh yeah, man, that's so fucking true. That's so true.
Yes.
Well, I'm hoping that this I'm sorry, just a segue. I'm hoping that this Matrix doesn't inspire that. I remember when Joker first hit the scene, people were saying that as well, that, it's possible that people will start, donning the Joker paint and start shooting up stuff. And I don't think that happened. I don't think there was a shooting. I know there's been like a shooting every month for God knows how long, but it didn't happen. And I'm hoping that this doesn't happen with the Matrix, because I'm a huge Keanu fan and I just want him to win at every moment.
Yeah, he's great.
So I'm hoping he has success. Yeah, Keanu's awesome.
Well, and also
Keanu's
we can't reasonably explain school shootings on violent movies.
No,
it's access to guns because they're fucking everywhere. All right, anybody who wants to can.
Well, his parents bought him a gun. They did buy him the gun.
Yeah, no, they bought him a gun. They told him don't get caught at school.
Oh man, there's so much.
There's a girl that's actually one of the survivors of the school shooting. Her parents are suing the schools and specifically teachers, the counselor involved, for neglecting, gross negligence, all of those errors.
Yeah, there's so many errors.
Which is just insane. It's just, how the fuck do you? I didn't know that he told this counselor that he wanted to kill people.
Yeah, neither.
Oh my god.
Yeah, right there. They called the parents. That's what made the counselor call the parent in. That's why the parents came in. That
child's a fucking psychopath, and their parents are too. I mean,
and his parents should have said, you know what? We're taking him home right now. We're taking
him home.
They sent him back to class. Go ahead.
That's just disgusting. Speaking of psychopaths, Bobby Kotick is being asked to step down of Activision Blizzard. Activision Blizzard devs have announced a strike fund to support work stoppage. So the ABK Workers Alliance, made up of employees at the publishing giant Activision Blizzard, have called on its supporters today to donate to a strike to support an ongoing work stoppage over recently announced layoffs. It's the latest move in an ongoing protest of their management's response to months and months and months of lawsuits and reports about widespread sexual harassment and discrimination across the country. They're quoted as saying, today, the ABK Workers Alliance announces the initiation of its strike. We encourage our peers in the game industry to stand with us in creating lasting change. The ABK Worker Alliance is also linked to a strike fund set up in GoFundMe, where it calls on its supporters to help it raise $1 million to take care of its employees during the stoppage. Yeah,
I think that's
get
brilliant.
him. I am personally an Activision survivor. I worked there last year after 3 years, and god damn, is that place a fucking whoo. I'm really glad to see people's doing this. I'm not a part of it, but fucking fight the power. Fight the fucking power.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know what this does? This changes how strikes operate. So people can strike, throw up a GoFundMe, and the public can actually support those people.
Yeah, that's new. I like
that.
That's awesome.
Like
innovation.
It puts
like
the power back in
that.
So imagine if Amazon does that or somebody else does that, and they're like, oh, let's support these people. They're striking for a good reason. Oh, Walmart's striking. Let's support these people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's a cool blueprint way to use all this tech in order to help the little guy.
Yeah, using GoFundMe for something good,
or the little guy, little gal, for, you
know, it's exciting. That's very exciting.
I'm just happy that somebody's actually just doing something, because it's like me and Carl had a quick conversation. I was like, at what point do you get when you start getting like diminishing returns as far as brilliant people that want to come and work for your company? You know, I'm like, at what point is that? Because once you start losing those genius designers and those genius game developers and those genius people that do all of the heavy lifting because they can't deal with the toxicity, I need that to happen. You know, like there has to be like a cost for that, because if we're just waiting for just the CEO to step down or the owner to step down, but the culture is remaining intact, then to me it doesn't seem like a whole lot is actually changing. You feel me? Y'all kind of feel what I'm saying? I need the people to come there to be like, nah, I got a better decision. I mean, I get paid as much if I work for you, but I can't deal with the drama that you bring, and I'm going to take my talents down to South Beach. You know, Braun reference. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm kind of wanting. You know?
Yeah, I wonder. It's difficult to change a culture, right? When I was at Activision,
very.
Yeah, when I was at Activision, I heard that they had attempted to clean up the culture. Well, I was there for 3 years, and that like about 10 years prior, that the bro culture that you read about in those articles, that it was like insane. It was really bad. And a lot of those incidents happened during that era. But also like not too long before I got there too, which was, I guess that would have been like 4 years ago when apparently the woman committed suicide. I know, and I heard about that too, actually on my second week of working there, in a really like personal way too, because my second week of working there, it was at E3. So, you know, we as a team, we went out to these E3 parties, and like everybody was drinking. And then I got this, sometimes this happens to me when I'm drunk, but I got this moment where I was just like, I don't fucking know these people. I gotta go. So I just left without telling anybody. Sometimes I do this when I'm drunk. Sometimes I do the Irish goodbye. And apparently they freaked out about that. And I'm a grown ass woman. If I leave and you don't see me there, like I'm okay, I'm fine. But they had like fucking, you know, when people get drunk, they get like myopic, right? They had basically a manhunt to find me, and which is like really over the top. And they called like the security guy, and then like we're starting to review security footage just to figure out where the fuck I was. I woke up the next morning in my own bed with my makeup off and a glass of water right next to me, by the way, very responsibly, and saw 40 missed calls from my boss, my boss's boss, everybody else on my team, like 17 emails or 17 voicemails. People were trying to fucking find me. Again, they were just drunk, whatever. I think it was a little over top, but I was like freaking out. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, guys, I just left, you know, I'm a grown ass woman. Anyways, the next morning I had to go on an apology tour for their stupid behavior, whatever. No, they cared about me. They loved me. That part's not nice.
You know, it's so crazy.
They were looking out for me. Wait, the reason why they got so freaked out though, is because they told me, they're like, well, a girl had just committed suicide the year prior at E3, on like the same night when they were going out with coworkers. And so it like really hit hard when I heard about that, because she directly related it to me. And I was just like, oh, I don't know. It was just weird and awkward. So I know that must have happened only like a year before I started, because the date lineup. But yeah, I don't know, man, that was fucking weird. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, wow.
I'm saying, because they know in that environment, they don't know what can happen, not just the suicide. We understood why she did. I think it was like, that was the straw that broke her back when her boss came in with 6 toys. And was like, you get to pick which one I'm going to use on you or something like that. Oh,
did you read? There's more than that.
Yeah.
There's more than that. He took a picture of her genitals, I guess, and she was showing everybody at the office.
Yes, that's wild.
Yeah, he was.
Does that? Like
a savage does it. A savage does it.
Yeah, I don't even know. Did they name? I don't know if they named who did that in the lawsuits.
I think they did name everybody.
I hope that man was prosecuted for that kind of like
I don't think
life for ruining harassment and abuse. Yeah. Like that is beyond sexual harassment. That's just like
it incurred.
I hope that man is in fucking jail right now for doing such things. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. But you know, like that kind of stuff doesn't happen in a vacuum. For some reason, for whatever reason, like that guy is not like just a monster walking around Activision and like, you know, in a silo. You know, that stuff is enabled because of whatever reason he felt like maybe it was okay to do that, especially showing other people pictures in his own office. Like if he thought that wouldn't be well received because a culture that doesn't support that, then he wouldn't have done that. But the culture gave him reason to think that could be okay. Disgusting.
It is
disgusting. That man.
Uncalled for.
That's putting it lightly. Well, I just checked the ABK Stripe Fund, and as of now, they're past $250,000 in funding.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Nice. They're gonna raise $1 million. It's gonna happen. That changes strikes forever. That's what we want to hear.
Set the tone.
Yeah. I'm at here. ABK Strike Fund. Putting in the chat. Putting in the chat. I'm gonna donate to that shit right off. When we get off air, I'm gonna donate to that shit. Fight the fucking power. I love that shit. They're like, oh, you're gonna threaten us with getting fired? Here. Hey, crowdfund, give me $1 million. What bitch are you gonna do now? It's so good. That is so good.
Yeah.
Like, and also like this ABK Workers Alliance, like that sounds like the name of a union, but I know they didn't unionize.
Not yet. Who says they won't though?
Sounds like a fucking union to me, right? That sounds like a union. It could be
the start of something new.
Oh,
maybe
God, I hope
unionize without union workers may be the most powerful. Decentralized unions. We've never thought of that. We put the union on a blockchain. There's no headquarters. You're not negotiating one person. That changes everything.
Yeah.
With right now, every industry in America should be looking at the game industry like, y'all better get this stuff together.
Yeah, and the game industry needs to unionize too. Like the way that we go through, like I just interviewed somebody for a job and my team, and the guy was like a fucking rock star, right? But he just kept saying like, you know, I stopped working there because I got laid off. I stopped working at this place because I got laid off, you know? And it's just like, and I was like, yeah, man, that's how it is in the industry. Like nobody even holds it against anybody here. Because like you being laid off, it means absolutely nothing about like how valuable you are as like a contributor, you know?
It's how you close out the yearly quarter. And that's what Activision is notoriously known for.
Yeah. I was at Activision during their last round of layoffs, and it was fucking traumatic. Like I remember we were all sitting at our desks. We knew when it was going to happen, and everybody was just sitting at their desk, and then HR would go around and then like, anytime you'd see HR walking around, everybody would just get like super fucking scared and tense and like quiet, you know? And then the HR would come and like tap on somebody's shoulder and like take him out. It was like the fucking Grim Reaper walking around.
It's like doing it.
I was about to say,
like, good
it was so scary. And then I remember like,
musical chairs,
fucking quiet work. But I was literally crying that day because I didn't get laid off, but I had survivor's guilt, that's for sure. And the fucking trauma of that day of like thinking like, oh, if they're gonna come and like take me out, you know? And I remember my coworker saying like, he said, it's okay, like you're not getting laid off. And he said to me, he's like, you're safe. And then he said that to me and I started crying. I was like, whoa, man, I don't like, this is fucked up. If somebody's telling me that I'm safe, and that triggers tears because it's like, holy shit, right?
Damn, some zombie apocalypse type stuff, right? Yeah,
it was really upsetting. Yeah, and now they're about to do it again because they do it every January, or at least every other January. Seems like that's the pattern. Maybe about every 4 years. I don't know. This fucked up though. Fuck that place. Fuck Activision. Fuck Activision. Yeah. Fuck Activision.
It's a thing.
There's like one cool person. Actually, there's maybe a few, and he left.
You know.
Anyways. Anyways,
changes
guys,
are coming.
Yeah.
Speaking of games and game industry news, Sony's Spartacus could be PlayStation's next answer to Xbox Game Pass. I've been reading a lot of things about this. People are liking it so far. So Sony is planning on creating a new Xbox Game Pass-like subscription service, according to Bloomberg. The company already offers 2 subscription services, which is PlayStation Plus, which is required for the majority of any sort of online multiplayer game, and then PlayStation Now, which offers a catalog of games to download and to stream. And then they will be reportedly merged in the new spring offering, and Sony will likely keep the PlayStation Plus brand. Jason Schreider, I love that fucking guy, by the way. You guys should follow this guy on Twitter. This guy is the one that like leaks all the good gaming news shit and like has been covering Activision fucking shenanigans for years, by the way. I don't know how to say his name though, James Schrader. Anyways, back to and so in the news service, which is codenamed Spartacus, leak. Thanks, guy. It's Jason Schrader. Anyways, the codename Spartacus would have 3 tiers. One would offer current PlayStation Plus perks. Another would include a catalog of PS4 games and eventually PS5 games. And a whole third would have extended demos, game streaming, and a library of classic PS1, PS2, PS3, and 4 games. Would you guys buy it?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah,
I already had that talk. I'm gonna buy it. I'm getting it.
Everybody's
this is like the live stream though, right? It's the live streaming service, right?
It's
like,
their place.
It's basically Xbox
their
Game
version
Pass.
of Xbox Game Pass, Ultimate
Game Pass.
I don't know if I'm gonna buy it out the gates because I tried the Xbox streaming version one, like their stream straight up stream. It was really clunky. I know it won't always be that way.
You don't want the PlayStation one, right?
Yeah, the PlayStation one before
Xbox
it sucked. PlayStation Now, it sucked. There was always like lame games on there, but honestly, I'm not really quite sure how this is that different, other than merging the services.
This is not all. This you can download the games as well in this one.
Oh, you can download them. Okay, if it's a downloadable service,
it's
I'm with
both.
it. But if it's
like the multiplayer, it's multiplayer plus the downloading and streaming games.
Huh?
But it sucked. Well, I remember Xbox or PlayStation Now sucked before, didn't it?
They bought Sky and they bought OnLive, and it sucked. Yeah. However, they have updated the service, right? Because they had to compete against Xbox. People understand Halo Infinite is going to kill everything because you can play it on a PlayStation 1.
It's free. It's on Game Pass.
Yeah,
you can play it on PlayStation 1
all the way up to the PlayStation Series X. And the thing is, the package of it's only 25 gigs. And you get the whole entire game because half the game's in the cloud, more than half the game's in the cloud. So they give you just what you need locally, and they serve you the rest of the game from the cloud.
See, and you sold me because outside of dropping like 130 gigs for Call of Duty, and if you get all of the stuff, and if you get everything, it's like 1/4 of a terabyte. It's like 200 gigs. I'm like, that's insane. That's insane. That's like half. That's like half of your hard drive if you got a PS5.
It's not like they don't know how many gigs we have on the console they sold to us. What do they fucking think we're made of gigabytes?
Yeah, they want you to change your hard drive out. So you got to find the right hard drive. Put the heat sink on the hard drive, and then you can sell the hard drive. Then you put in your console. I don't know. They're not thinking.
Once I see PlayStation's lineup, that'll sell them. That'll let me know. If the lineup is thorough, then sure. But if
they fucking got all the best games. That's why I haven't gone back to Xbox. I mean, I have an Xbox, but it hasn't started in a while, actually. But anyways, the reason why I never got Xbox Game Pass is because like all the good shit's on PlayStation. I feel like
all the exclusives,
other than the last Tomb Raider one. In other Sony PlayStation,
Forza and Halo.
Oh yeah. Well, Forza, I've never been a Forza. But
Forza's been nominated for a lot of awards. Yeah, Forza's
always great.
It's always great. Yeah. But they understand they bought Bethesda. They bought Bethesda, you guys. That means
so I will again get both. Yeah, I will.
Elder Scroll. I mean, South Park. All that's going to be on their console.
So why isn't Deathloop then? Why isn't Deathloop only on Xbox then?
But it probably came through before the purchase of the company.
You think so?
Probably. And Microsoft may say, "Hey, put your games everywhere, guys. We'll just have exclusive content on ours though."
I want to stop buying every fucking console every fucking cycle, but
listen, I'm not a huge Xbox fan, but I could play it. I could play it on my One. I could play it on the potential 10. I could play it on my phone. I could play it on my PC. I mean,
really?
It's dope.
It goes across everything.
Like
Xbox Game Pass, you play on everything.
It's been a while since I played on it.
On everything.
The Game Pass.
And that to me is the future. If I buy a game or if I want access to a game, I want to be able to play it regardless of what platform I'm on. And they deliver.
I know. It is super annoying. The cross-platform is essential.
Xbox.
I also want to, being able to play it. Yeah, I'm with you.
Xbox made an app that's supposed to be playing on Switch, and Nintendo blocked it. They made a Game Pass app that we played on the Switch. Nintendo's like, nah, we're not having that. Nah, we're not. Nah. We thought about it.
Today.
Not today.
You ain't getting us with the banana in the tailpipe.
yeah. At first, they were for it. At first, they're like, "Oh, that makes sense. We make different games, and we don't have to bring. That means you don't have to port those games over to us. That's fine. People still buy the Switch because they're gonna buy Mario and they're gonna buy Zelda." And they're like, "Nah, we thought about that. We side with Sony on this because they made an app for Sony too, a Game Pass app. They're like, it's not a game console and it's not exclusive. We just made an app for your platform." They're like, "Nah, we're not having that. Nah, we're not Android. Yeah. We're not Android or Apple because on Apple you can play it. You can play your Xbox."
In other Sony PlayStation news, I still do not have a PS5. I've been trying, guys. I'm fucking trying. I'm following a Wario 64 guy. I've been following Site Supply. I got like these PS5.
Alerts?
Yes. And I even pushed.
Them?
No, I am fucking trying my darndest. I'm trying my darndest, guys.
I just got, like, I was in Florida this week. I just got one and I was like, I can't buy it because I had nobody. I'm not gonna be able to pick it up. They're like,
you say this to me every time, and every time I tell you, I will buy it from you.
I wouldn't have been in Florida to pick it up. Like it gets delivered. It gets delivered tomorrow if I would have got it. And I was like, I had to go pick it up. No, I had to actually go pick it up from a Target.
I literally have their tweets pushed as alerts to my phone. Like the second they tweet, I see it on my screen. How do I want to be a bot so I can get one?
Target's
How do I be
gonna
a
start
bot?
bringing them back in stores. So Target's gonna bring them back in stores soon. So you can go to the Target and buy it.
So fucking hard. I guess I should just get an Xbox though, right? Because I don't want.
They're hard to get too. Well, at least the 10. The 10s are hard to get. The X's, the X's are hard to get.
They're hard.
Really? I thought they were in stock everywhere.
They're hard.
I feel like I see them in stock everywhere.
The S's are everywhere.
The little small S's, the hard drive.
You could probably go to the store right now and grab an S, but
but the one, the X, the hard disk drive,
the Xbox XX.
That's gonna be the next one, XX. No, they're gonna do triple X.
I think this is it for consoles. Honestly,
I think Microsoft.
You think it's the end? I fucking hope so. Honestly, like, just stop with this. Stream it to me. Do what Stadia's trying to do. Stadia sucks. We don't actually want Stadia.
Because we're talking about what these. So the 5 it's got what a 6-year lifespan, 6 to 8 year lifespan, right?
Mine dies before that, but yeah.
The infrastructure should change by then, where making a console isn't. It just because they lose money, right? Most companies lose money from consoles. It's just not going to be,
Well, the margin.
It's not going to be a responsible business decision to dump that much money into creating a loss when you could just send them the app. We're talking 6 to 8 years. So I think this is it.
You mean this is the last of a dying breed. It'll be like a virtual console. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. Kind of like like there'll still be a few of the old ones still floating around, because there's just going to be some people that aren't privy to streaming tech on that level, or just don't have the resources to do it, and they'll still be able to have access to it. But to the old stuff, like the old 5s, we'll be calling them the old 5s and the old X's. But the next thing is streaming. This is it. It doesn't make sense to make consoles anymore. And then add to the fact, if this silicon shortage continues or even degrades into an even larger shortage, because that's a real possibility as well. There's no guarantee that we're going to get out of the shortage. We hope, and it's looking like we can get out of it, but it's not a guarantee. So that's even more of a reason to be like, okay, well, maybe we should just do just the streaming services. And if your home TV, if your little OLED LED can support it, or your phone can support it, or your Chromebook can support it, you'll be straight. You'll still be able. You don't have to worry about buying a $1,600 graphics card. That's insane.
What they'll do is they'll do what Stadia did.
Some of them are like $2,200.
What they'll do is what Stadia did. Was sell you this little plug device and a controller. You buy the. I
don't even think it'll be a plug anymore.
Yeah.
I think because most of the media is just going to come standard with Bluetooth accessibility.
Yeah. For
headphones, controllers, be it your phone or your television or whatever it is, it's just going to come standard, and then you just have to download the app. I think that's the future. So for all of you relics, for all of you people that like holding on to hardware, this is it. So the last one, I think. It's kind of sad though. It's a little sad. It's a little sad.
I'm already nostalgic about it. I don't even have one.
It is. No, I miss going. You know what?
And this helps me not buying and spend more of my monies.
You'll find something else to spend it on, Chuck. We all know that.
I do.
There's a nostalgic piece of me. Like I miss walking into a Blockbuster and physically seeing what's there. I miss going to record stores and going through the tape bins and going like, there's something about having a physical copy that nobody can take away from you. Nobody can take that away from you as long as you have the device that can play it. But if you have a streaming service subscription, the minute you can't, the minute that you can't pay your subscription, all your content is gone. Or if they just feel like they don't want to license whatever content that's available to you, it's gone. You know, at least with records, even 8 tracks, you have a physical medium as long as you have the hardware that can play it and it's with you.
Yeah, I take it back completely. I'm not going to miss consoles at all because I hate having physical versions of games. I have way too many. I'm always trying to give them away. By the way, hit me up if you want a free game. And like the physical like console on my console table below my TV, I hate it. I can never hide it. It's not like aesthetic to me, you know? So the more that you explain it, the more I think, no, actually, I don't think I'm going to miss this at all. But I do have another question. What are we doing today that you think we will miss in the future? That's a good question, right? That's what I always want to know. What is it we're doing right now that you love, but you think might not stick around that you'll miss?
Driving a car.
Oh, that's a
really
good one.
Teleportation? Is it teleportation?
Really good one. No, everything's self-driving.
Oh my God. Have you guys driven a Tesla? I hate actually steering cars now. I know. I hate it. I'm just like, this is work right now. And I just would rather like put it on self-drive and
I'll tell you what I'm missing. I'm already missing. We're not even going into the future. I like people not having access to me in any capacity. Like I miss the days where if I'm out and you miss me, you just miss me, you know.
I always miss.
But now everything can get in contact with you. Every app that you do go on, every phone, like it's to the point now where you can't even stand next to somebody. You don't even have to have anything on you. You can stand next to somebody and somebody can still get in contact with you through them. I'm like, I'm going to miss the day that I can disappear.
Just go.
You can just disappear.
But we would miss you.
But but I'm not talking about like disappear forever. You know, like if I'm disappearing too long, y'all motherfuckers come get me, please. But like I'm out. I'm just out. It's what it is. That's what I'm gonna miss. And I feel like we're getting to a point, especially when we start having all these wearable devices, because eventually our glasses are gonna be linked to the whatever our watches. Whatever the new thing is that's gonna, I don't know, read your inner workings for health or whatever it is. It's gonna get to the point where we're going to be like full-blown cyborgs. We're already cyborgs because we have a symbiotic relationship. We have a symbiotic relationship with technology already. We're already cyborgs without the implants, but the implant part is like right around the corner. I don't mean like surgical, but choice implants, like this is even like connected to the internet. It was just insane.
Kind of implants you got, Summer?
I'm a cyborg. Okay, first of all, my eyes work because I wear contacts. All right, that's an implant that I can take out, but it is in my fucking. It's underneath. It's in skin. Yeah, it's in there. And then also, my birth control is an IUD, and that is an implant. And so there's an implant in my piece of technology. Uterus, yeah. And I'm bulletproof now. Just saying, I'm a fucking cyborg. What you guys got?
You shoot up the club.
Nobody can shoot up the club.
You can let a clip loose. We good.
Oh Lord.
But the car thing is a big one, Chuck. You knocked that one out the park, man.
Cars.
I think I am in misdriving.
I am and I'm not at the same time. Because sometimes I don't want to drive, and other times I do want to drive. There's times where I want to drive, and times I don't want to drive.
I mean, driving fast and like intentionally is very fun, but when you're just driving to get places, like going into a racetrack, there's nothing that's not fun about that, right? Or like when the highway's open and like nobody's gonna see you going like 95 on the freeway, or if you're in LA, you go 95 on the freeway anyways. But like that's fun when you're actually trying to push a car. But like the daily like humdrum driving, I have a self-driving car now, and I fucking love it, and I think everybody else is gonna love it. Yeah, I honestly I turn on the self-driving the second that it enables me to, because any moment in between where I actually have to control it is just like, oh, too much, It's just like it's not, I don't know, it's not as much fun as I feel like people make it out to be, but I don't know. And then everybody who drives my car, they're like, it's a fucking spaceship. Super fun for everybody else to drive. And and like today, my car started fucking trying to turn when I didn't want it to turn into a different lane. And then I was like, what are you doing? There's nobody else in the car with me, by the way. I just started talking to my car. And then I was like, what? That was fucking weird. But I was like, I just talked to my car. But also it made me think I feel like I have a relationship with my car. I feel like I question what it does all the time. It's usually much better than what I would do. It's definitely a lot safer than me. I'm not a bad driver. I've been told by a lot of, and I know everybody says they're a fucking good driver. I've been told by a lot of people that I actually am a good driver, right? But my car is absolutely a better driver than me because it pays attention when, sometimes I'm like,
you were getting your lipstick right and driving with your knees.
Or squirrels. Squirrels that get me. We're like a dog. A dog.
I heard something from an old head that I didn't think about. It was like a couple of years ago. I was talking to an old head, maybe like 5 or 6 years older than me, and he was like, "Yo, I come from an era when I remember when television turned off."
Yes,
he was like, there was no other station.
I remember television turned off.
He was like, right around 11:30, the national anthem, not the national anthem. I think it was the national anthem would play. The flag would swing. Yeah, and the TV would just turn off. And that's it. There's no other option. The only other option is take your ass to sleep.
Go to sleep.
I remember it a little bit as a child, but I wasn't
I remember it all the time as a child,
where it was like a super big deal. But TV turned off. That was it.
What do you mean? It physically turned itself off?
No, the channels turned off.
The broadcast, all the channels turned off.
Oh.
When I was a kid, at my youngest, earliest recollection of TV, there was maybe 8 channels when I was a kid. There was 8.
Really?
When I was a kid, yeah. Back when we had the old black and white with the rabbit ears. Yeah, it was 8 channels. And then
the national anthem came on.
Yeah.
The national anthem.
The flag would
the flag of eagles flying in the background.
It was a rap.
Mount
Rushmore.
They show Mount Rushmore. And for everybody,
Really?
TV turned off and it goes into the color bars. And then went into the color bars.
And then it went into
I was like, dang.
The color bars.
Yeah, it seems strange though, right?
I remember those color bars, yeah.
That seems strange.
I remember when TV turned on. So roughly around 5 o'clock, they do a countdown. 5, 4, 3.
Yeah. It used to come on at 5 a.m.
It goes, then it goes into the
they would run the bars, and then you would see the Native American head with the weird things with the squiggly lines on the side.
They put Native Americans on there?
Yeah, they did.
It was a Native American's head with these things on the side. I don't know what it was used for particularly.
Not shitty.
They would run the bars. It was like these bars had all these different codes, colors on. And then the morning show would come on, whatever the morning show was.
What morning news show? Was it like a national broadcast?
It was like local TV.
Local TV morning news.
Oh, cute.
We had ABC, CBS, NBC. We had TBS.
WGN.
We had WGN.
Yeah, Chicago.
That's 5. Oh. And then there was like a public access station and then like these 2 random ones.
KC.
It was like 8 channels.
Did you have C-SPAN? Did you have C-SPAN?
No,
that's cable. That's cable.
That was cable.
I thought
there was no such thing as cable then.
It broadcast Congress.
Yeah, that was
cable.
The
most boring thing I could think
of.
That
was cable.
No, the only time you got your news, because we grew up before CNN, and so we knew when the president had his what's it called, the State of the Union address. Like it was a big deal because there was no other there was no CNN and Fox News and CNET, none of that.
PBS.
Oh, PBS. That was the other one. Paul Wright said PBS.
Yep.
PBS was the other one.
Ours is KT.
So you got your news.
So PBS, KT, PBS was the best PBS.
Yeah.
By the way.
Your best place of news was the newspaper. Damn, I'm really dating myself. We are really dating ourselves.
Yeah.
And then the TV was supplemental.
Wait, you guys are that much older than me, right?
Your best news.
I remember going to the library.
Listen,
have you ever told me how old you actually are?
I was born 10 years after me and Chuck were born 10 years after we landed on the moon. Let's just put that in perspective.
Yeah.
1974.
We were born roughly 10 years after we landed, I told my son that. He was like
15 years old.
He's like, man, you're old.
Yeah.
Yeah, 77.
We don't look it. We don't look
You don't. You really, guys, you don't look that. I was gonna say that old.
44.
I swear.
Gen X. Yeah, Paul, right. Yeah,
44.
Gen X, baby. We were there before technology. We were there for
we watched all the changes. We
still know how to handle technology.
I remember having an 8-track in the car. I remember having an 8-track in the car. I remember tape decks came out, and you had an 8-track player that could play a tape deck inside of it. Then I remember the tape decks came in the car.
Wait, so you're almost 50? Wait, am I doing that?
44.
No.
44. Okay, I was
45.
I'm so fucking stupid sometimes, guys. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Gen X, yeah. Listen, yo, I remember when you had to literally warm your food up in the oven. I remember when there were no microwaves.
Those were microwaves.
What? There were microwaves back then?
No microwaves.
Listen, my first remote control.
I remember popping popcorn on top of the stove. And when
that was
the
fun.
silver thing, you had to shake.
Yeah, that was fun though. But we had. Wait, when did microwaves? I remember that popcorn
in the 80s.
Microwaves came out in the 80s,
like 84.
Before then, you had to warm it up in the stove. Listen, the very first remote control I ever had was for a VCR. Very first time I ever saw a remote control, it was for a VCR. Yo, and that bitch had a wire attached to it. The wire went to the VCR. It was a wire.
Yeah. So yeah. No. I remember when the cable box was an actual box that had 13 buttons on it, and it had a slider control on the side. So 1 through 13, then it's 14 through 27, then it's 27 through 40 something, and you sat there and had to go there and punch this. You punch it and it goes. You can hear it register. It was all mechanical. Then they came up with a digital one. We were like, oh my God, the cable box is digital. Look at the only thing that was digital was the number.
I don't understand. How is TV not? How could it be analog? I don't understand. How can a TV be analog?
It used to use radio waves. It was radio waves.
Just the mechanism on them. All the controls were radio.
They had this control called UHF. And it fine-tuned the frequency. You had a wire.
The TV was a radio?
Yeah,
the TV was a radio?
It was catching radio waves.
Yeah, 2 ways to do it.
Oh my God.
You either had rabbit ears on your TV inside of the house, or if you had dough, you had the big antenna. There was an antenna that used to literally sit on your house. And it was big as hell.
Oh,
and the antenna had a cable.
Yeah, it looks like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I think I know what you mean.
So you would catch the TV would catch the radio waves, like the general radio waves, and you had your main TV dial up top, and then you had another dial underneath it called the UHF. And the UHF was for fine tuning, because depending on the day and the weather, your station would change. Golly, I'm really dating myself.
Well, I don't understand though. If TV was a radio wave, then why did they need a tube? They call it the tube because it had a
coaxial.
So is that a different way to get it?
Gets you better image.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a stable image. That's what made it. That's why it sold, because it was stable. When you had radio waves, you had UHF. Depending on the day and what was going on, even the wind, you had to adjust your UHF in order for your TV to come in.
Before the tube thing, there was TV came in through radio waves.
Oh, you talking about
the radio waves? Plug it in.
You're talking about tubes inside of TV. So we had tube TV. We had cathode. That's where you got the light from
cathode ray TVs.
Cathode ray TVs. And then you had a knob on it. And you twist the knob, and below it or inside of that knob was another knob where you tune. So you go channel 13, and you sit there and you with the other knob, you twist it around.
Yep.
You move the antennas on the back of it.
And you had to move the ears.
You put come bunny ears, and you put tinfoil on them to catch more of the radio wave. Because TV signal used to be coming through a radio wave.
So wait, before so let me just be really specific here, because this is breaking my fucking brain right now. So you would plug in the outlet into that was the TV, and that's cord number 1, right?
No, ain't no cord. No, there's a power cord. There's a power cord, and then there was the antenna cord. It had these 2 prongs that looked like two Ys.
TV wireless? Is that what you're saying? That's good.
It was kind of wireless. It was kind of wireless.
It was wireless. It was wireless.
Why would we go back to?
Because of better signals, stronger signals.
Wait, you could get TV wirelessly.
Yeah.
No, cable was brilliant because you never the signal was always stable. That's why cable was brilliant. It was stable. You know, you just turned it on and it just worked.
This shit. Can you just like sometimes when you think of like old technology, you're like, how did they?
I'm tell you one of the best things. I'm telling you one of the best devices that ever happened. Summer. It was the Walkman that was waterproof. Sony released a Walkman that was yellow.
A Walkman
and it had a blue top, and you locked the tape inside of it. You could jump in the pool with it. And you're like,
that's
what?
crazy. Yeah.
Fisher Price
it was
had
the yellow
one
joint,
too.
right?
The yellow
it was
joint.
yellow,
and it had mega bass.
Yeah,
you're like click it. You're like, oh yeah, I'm jumping in the pool. My Walkman.
Yeah. Yo, the Walkman changed.
Wait, how did you listen to it?
Everything.
How did you listen to it?
The Walkman changed everything.
You had the cord to plug into it.
Yeah, but the cord would get wet. And
the cord, but it was waterproof too. And the headphones were waterproof.
Some clever people back then.
They were clever.
when we were kids, if you wanted to listen to music, you had to carry a boombox because it was the only thing. It was the only thing that you could really take your music around that had like, you know, where you can feel like the full sound. And then the Walkman came out. The Walkman was probably one of the biggest
devices.
Technological changes that moved everybody because you could take your music anywhere and you could listen to it by yourself. You didn't, because typically if you listen to music, everybody else could hear.
Yeah.
But now with the Walkman, you had these shitty ass little headphones, the terrible foam, but you could listen to your music anywhere. You could listen to it on the bus. You could take it with you. If you had a cassette player, it changed everything. Like nothing was ever the same after the Walkman came out. Like you think the iPod was hot? I tell people all the time, I'm like, the iPod was dope, no doubt.
Yeah.
But nothing
Walkman
moved the needle like the Walkman when the Walkman came out. It was lights out.
I remember the Discman where you had to put a CD in. I remember putting a Britney Spears CD in because I was like a child at the time. That was like my first own CD.
You were a child when Britney Spears was out.
Yeah, or you guys were not, I guess, huh?
No,
I was amazing.
I was college.
I remember because I bought the Britney Spears CD, and I think I bought like the Destiny's Child CD, and those are the two albums that I've ever like the first ones that I ever bought. I think the Destiny, or no, and Brandy too. I remember Brandy. God, I love her. Why did she go away? I love her. I love Brandy.
My first cassette was LL Cool J's Radio. That was the first cassette I ever bought with my own money.
So I guess we should ask you, what's your first album? And then the technology that supported it.
Thriller. The first album that was given to me was Thriller. That was given to me.
Charlie Brown Christmas on LP because I had the Charlie Brown record player. And it comes in a box, and it's a record player, and it's for kids. And I got the Charlie Brown LP with it. And it's the first time I learned how to DJ. You know what I'm talking about, Trey? Had the speaker built into it. You got walk around with it. You had to show the straps on.
Tell us in the chat because I know he's there. But you know what? I just thought of it like, Paul, I want to know. Also, like, kids are never going to have that experience now. They're not going to be like, oh, the first album I download. What? No, they don't even download it. They can listen.
They don't even wait in line for music anymore. Like, we had to earn it. You had to wait in line for music.
I remember when Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style came out. There's a place called G-Town Sounds in Lexington, Kentucky. It was a mom and pop music shop, and he launched everything at midnight. And I remember going out there, I think it was with my brother or my friend Richard Combs, and it was on the west side of town, so it was in the hood. And we would go out there, and we were waiting for the album to come out, and everybody's there. It was like every gangster, drug dealer, everybody was there. Preacher was there waiting for Snoop Dogg to come out. And that first copy came out, somebody had in their hands like, G is selling them. He got boxes of them. And we're all hoping like, I hope they don't sell it. I hope they don't sell it. We remember bumping it and going out of the store, and it's on every car up and down the street. All we heard was the dog. It was like synchronized together. People were like, yeah, I can't wait to open mine. And I remember
that's cute.
When you got a CD, you pull the booklet out of it and you read the book as you listen to the song.
Because you had the booklet. Yes. Yo, and if it was super dope, it had the lyrics to some of the songs. That was more for R&B. That was more for R&B, but you could read the lyrics and you're like,
that's great. Yeah. Damn. Well, I feel inspired to go listen to some golden oldies and Destiny's Child.
But you know what though? Kids today are going to say, like, I remember when I had to play games on consoles.
I know.
They're going to say that.
That's
They're
true.
gonna be like, you didn't just have the data chip that you put in your thing, and it just plays. And be like, no, I had to actually get a console.
Hilarious.
The PlayStation 5. I remember the last time.
Yeah, that's what's gonna be.
Back in the day, I had to wait 2 years before I got one.
Like
yeah.
I remember. I was like, I
ahead.
remember carrying a backpack. It had my comic books in it, the book that I was reading, my CD player, my drawing book in it, my writing book was in it. And it was a full backpack. My mom was like, "You're gonna have a bad back because of that backpack." I was like, "It has everything I need in it. Everything I need." Had my Game Boy in it or my Game Gear in it. Like, and them kids just walk around with this device. They walk around with this
one thing,
and it fits in your pocket.
Their backs are gonna be fine.
Their backs gonna be fine.
Yo, big
Except
shout out to Paul.
Technic.
Like, yo, my man said, yo, shout out. She said, shoot, I had a bunch through Columbia House. Yo, Columbia House. Yo, you date. Dog, Paul, how old are you, man? You old. You talking about the Columbia House records?
He's like our age. Paul's our age.
You would pay like $15 for one CD, and then you'd get like another 9 for like 10 cents.
Yeah.
That was like the hustle.
That's a good deal.
But then you had to constantly buy from them. And they charge you.
You got a contract.
And so, but the thing is, they're letting Columbia House go out to little kids. So you had 13-year-old kids that had hundreds of CDs, then pay a dime for them. And Columbia House send a bill to them. And they're like, I'm not paying this bill.
44. Yeah.
I'm not paying this bill.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's it for Friday night.
Yeah.
I hope you guys have a great Friday night.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys make me feel so young. I am now becoming a millennial, by the way. I'm starting to feel old because Gen Z now is getting all the attention. And I'm just like, you guys keep me feeling fresh.
Welcome.
And I love you for that. I love you for that.
Yeah, well, welcome to Old People's Anonymous. There's coffee in the back.
I don't
Come on in. The water's great.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll have a great weekend and
thank you. Yeah.
Enjoy yourselves out there.
And shout out to Digital Click as always. To everybody.
Shout out to Digital Click. All right.